Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Rachel and this is Vlogmas. Hey y'all, we have officially caught in a bug in this house and feel about as good as what we like to say in these parts as hammered dog turd. So this video is going to be a lazy one. I'm going to do a voiceover, but I wanted to get it out because yesterday was the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. At the end of this video, I'm going to share a recipe for tamales, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. December 12th is the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. The history behind Our Lady's feast involves Saint Juan Diego, whose feast was celebrated on December 9th. I didn't do a video on him, but maybe I will next year. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, the story begins in the early morning hours of December 9th, 1531, when 57-year-old Indian peasant named Juan Diego was walking along the path of the Tepeyac Hill on the outskirts of Mexico City. At this time, Mexico was very much mission territory for Franciscan missionaries who had only recently arrived, not only to meet spiritual needs of the colonists, but also to evangelize to the native people. Juan Diego, like many of his family members, were among the early converts to the faith. Juan Diego had grown up under Aztec oppression. When Hernando Cortez arrived in Mexico in AD 1519, the native Nahuatl Indians, about 10 million of them, were under the dominions of the Aztecs. The religious practices of the Aztecs were extremely violent. Every major Aztec had a temple pyramid on top of which rested an altar. Upon this altar, Aztec priests would offer human sacrifices to their supreme god, Huitzilopochtli, the sun god and the god of war. It was estimated that more than 50,000 human beings were sacrificed each year to all of the Aztec gods. It is likely that a young Juan Diego himself witnessed an especially horrific event. At the dedication of a new temple to honor Huitzilopochtli, more than 80,000 men were sacrificed in a period of just 4 days. In AD 1520, shortly after his arrival, Hernando Cortez outlawed human sacrifice. Cortez, a Catholic, knew that these practices were not only barbaric, but also satanic. He knew that God had condemned Israel for its sinful acts of idolatry, including human sacrifice. In the words of the psalmist, "They served their idols and were ensnared by them. They sacrificed to demons of their own sons and daughters, shedding innocent blood and blood of their own sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan, desecrating the lands with bloodshed." Psalm 106, 36-38. Cortez stripped the temple pyramids of its two idols, cleansed the stone of its blood, and erected a new altar. Cortez, his soldiers, and Father Alamedo then ascended the stairs with the Holy Cross and images of Blessed Mother and Saint Christopher. Upon this new altar, Father Alamedo offered a sacrifice of the Mass. So on what had once been a place of evil pagan sacrifice was now an unbloody, eternal, and true sacrifice of the Lord. With the background of this story, we can now appreciate the significance of the apparition of our Blessed Mother to Juan Diego as he walked along Tepeyac Hill to attend Mass the morning of December 9th. On Tepeyac Hill, a pagan temple had stood to the pagan mother goddess Tenantzin, who was depicted in the most diabolical way and having clusters of snakes on our heads and kind of withering serpents on our bodies, sort of like Medusa. The Blessed Mother Mary would conquer and dispel Tenantzin. Suddenly, Juan Diego heard beautiful strains of music, and he saw a beautiful lady who called his name, Juanito, Juan Dieguito. As he approached, she said to him, "Know for certain, least of my sons, that I am the perfect and perpetual Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus, the true God, through whom everything lives, the Lord of all things near and far, the Master of heaven and earth. And my earnest wish that a temple be built here to my honor. Here I will demonstrate, I will manifest, I will give all my love, my compassion, my help, and my protection to the people. I am your merciful mother, the merciful mother of all of you who live united in this land, and of all mankind, of all who love me, of all those who cry to me, of those who seek me, and of those who have confidence in me. Here I will hear the weeping, their sorrow, and I will remedy and alleviate their multiple sufferings, necessities, and misfortunes." She told Juan Diego to tell Bishop Samargo of her desire for a church to be built on the site. Bishop Samargo was a saintly man and listened patiently to Juan Diego. He said he would reflect on the matter and kind of doubted that such a story existed. So Juan Diego went back to Tepeyac Hill and reported the bishop's response. Mary instructed him to try again. So the next day he did. And all this time it was more difficult to see the bishop. Juan Diego prevailed, and the bishop once again listened to him patiently. However, the bishop asked him this time to bring back a sign from Mary to prove that the story was true. Again, Juan Diego reported the matter to our Blessed Mother, who told him to return the next day and receive the sign for the bishop. However, that day, Juan Diego had to spend the day caring for his very sick uncle, Juan Bernardino. He asked Diego to go and bring a priest who could hear his last confession and administer his last rites. On December 12th, Juan Diego set out again, but did not go to Tepeyac Hill because he was very ashamed that he did not return on the previous day like he had told our Blessed Mother. While making his detour, the Blessed Mother stopped him and said, "Hear and let it penetrate into your heart, my dear little son. Let nothing discourage you, nothing depress you. Let nothing alter your heart or your countenance. Also, do not fear any illness or vexation, anxiety, or pain. I am not here who am your mother. Are you not under my shadow of protection? Am I not your fountain of life? Are you not in the folds of my mantle and the crossing of my arms? Is there anything else that you need? Mary reassured Juan Diego that his uncle would not die. In fact, his health would be restored. As for the sign for the bishop, Mary told Juan Diego to go to the top of the mountain and pick some flowers. He went up to the hill, which was dry and barren, a place for cactus, and found roses like those growing in Castile, but foreign to Mexico. He gathered them in his tilma as a garment like a poncho, and he brought them to Mary, who arranged them and said to take them to the bishop. So Juan Diego made the trek back to Bishop Zamargo's house. After waiting for an audience, he repeated the message again to the bishop, and when he opened his tilma to show him the roses, the bishop not only saw the beautiful flowers fall from the tilma, but also an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe had been imprinted onto the tilma. Bishop Zumarraga wept at the sight of the image of the Blessed Mother and asked for forgiveness for doubting. He took the tilma and laid it at the altar in his chapel. By Christmas of that year, an adobe structure was built atop Tobiah Hill in honor of our Blessed Mother, Our Lady of Guadalupe, and was dedicated on December 26, 1531, the feast of Saint Stephen the Martyr. I hope you guys enjoyed this story and are interested in learning more. I will link the book I read this from as well as some more information below. I hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for tamales. So you just wet them with warm water until they're soft?
Warm water. You can put them in warm water or run warm water over them. Okay.
And then we have how much of this?
This is 4 cups.
And then a cup of lard.
Yes.
The healthy kind of lard.
Yeah. Some people use Crisco, the salt, the baking powder, and I think it's 3.
3 cups of water.
2, I mean.
2 cups.
So you'll just stir that around, and then you'll knead it or net it, however you say. How do you say it? Net or knead?
Knead. Do you say net or knead?
Ned.
That's the Appalachian.
Yeah, that's the Appalachian American in me. That's what I put on my papers. What race are you? I'm Appalachian American.
I feel like we should get special something for that.
Oh yeah. How's it doing?
Good. I put some chilies in my meat.
You got a spoon, you got...
How am I cutting them?
Just so you can squeeze them.
Oh, okay.
Peel off some of these to tie the ends of the tamales.
Oh, that's why you were ripping them in your video?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can use string, I guess, but this is how I was taught. The masa. And you're going to press it out, not all the way to the end. You're going to do it like that. You're going to bring it over here. Uh-oh, what did I do with our spoon? Okay. And I'm going to need another one. You press the meat down and you pinch the 2 sides of the masa together and you fold that over. And then sometimes you need to, I like to twist the ends. And twist the end and tie.
She's praying you drop some of that.
I know, it'll give her the shits.
She's like, oh, fine.
Yeah, see? Okay, there's our first one.
Yay!
Look at all them delicious foods I need to get in my belly.
Can steam them or we can bake them.
What's best?
Steam. We're making cookies.
They're just so pretty.
They are. You're like an artiste.
I know, look at that.
Yours actually looks decent. Mine looks sloppy as hell.
Terrible. Cookie makers, we are not.
No, tamale makers, yes. Wait till you taste them in your
I
mouth.
can't wait.
I know.
How long do you steam them for? So the first time I had tamales was actually in Mexico, and I ate the corn husk because nobody told me because they're a bunch of jerks. I have to say it was much, much, much more delicious without eating the corn husk. These were so, so good. I hope you'll try the recipe. Like I said, I'll link it below in a pinned comment. But that's all for this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.